right, we're live with Matt from On the Ballot. So we're going to be talking about the work that Matt does with petitioning in Illinois and specifically in Chicago, and also their experience using the petition validator tool and other tools.
Yeah, so thanks, Tom. So we're excited to be working with Petition Validator. On the Ballot has been around for 3 years now and working largely in the school board sector, but also helping other candidates for other races as well.
What are some of the pain points in your experience in the petition validation process? Would love to hear that.
Yeah, so Chicago has a long history of making sure people have enough petitions. You may have heard of Barack Obama, who dedicated his library presidential center yesterday. But in 1996, he actually challenged the incumbent and got the incumbent off the ballot. And so it's always been a thing here. 30 years ago, we didn't have an AI tool like Petition Validator, but it's been part of the process. And what that looks like for us and what the pain points are, obviously, is one, how do you understand who all these people are that are signing these petitions and quickly be able to understand if they're a valid match or a valid voter in the right district, right? And so when you look working with candidates, for instance, in this race that needed 500 good signatures, but only could turn in a maximum of 1,500, it's really important that you're able to process those signatures, accurately understand how many your candidates have, and then be able to turn in the right number, right? And I think that part of this tool allowed us to sort of freed us up by quickly helping us find valid matches, identify out of district, and then using the search feature to narrow down the universe that we then had to go to the Board of Elections to actually check a signature image for, right? Because there's obviously all of those components have to match for a signature to be good, but we were able to really focus a lot of our efforts in verifying and vetting the signature image instead of starting from square one. So that's where the petition validator tool really helped us out. Yeah, so we worked with nearly 20 candidates in this cycle. Obviously, we're still in the mix and nothing is completely final yet, but I think went through pre-vetted nearly 30,000 signatures for those candidates. And so in that process, I think one of the reasons we went into this and look to partner with a tool like Petition Validator is because in the last cycle, a lot of candidates did get challenged and did get knocked off because they didn't do the work and didn't know whether they had the right signatures. So we went into this cycle expecting a lot of challenges, which is why we pre-vetted signatures before they even turned them in. And so that resulted in, of all of our candidates, only one got challenged, and their records examination finished this past week. And so they are something like 284 signatures over the minimum to make the ballot. So they're easily going to win that challenge. And I'm happy to say that everyone that we worked with and supporting is going to make the ballot.
And I would just say as well, like, working with you has been really great because, we've been building this tool to help candidates to know what their valid matches are and to be able to triage early. But each state is kind of unique, right? And Illinois is no exception. And Matt, what you've been able to do and your team is like bring really deep expertise and knowledge about that ecosystem and the processes and the kind of defensive mechanisms you can take to make sure that candidates get on the ballot. And you've been really helpful in providing us feedback and in helping us really develop the tool to be really useful in that situation. So it's been an absolute pleasure working with you. And I think that, it's going to provide a better experience because of that.
Yeah, I'll say two things. One is that there's a nice symbiosis, right? And so I think that one, in working with you, Tom, like being able to have the flexibility to and the quick adaptivity to ensure that as we navigated Illinois, Cook County, City of Chicago, all the idiosyncrasies that go with that, sort of quickly being able to adapt and refine our processes to fit that, I think is important and has become really helpful. And also to your point that the petition validator is a tool, right? And so I think that The tool is only as good as the people that are implementing it. And so being able to leverage a really good tool with some really good operators, I think has made us really effective, right? Together, there's sort of exponential value and clearly exponential volume in terms of what we've been able to achieve in this school board cycle.